In the realm of MMA, trash talking has proven to be a viable path for many.
Garble, 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 Mr. Sonnen!
Efforts that leave opponents mentally fractured, battered and bruised from verbal skirmishing, that come fight night are brought to the fore.
That's it. It's the new UFC champion of the world.
It's a destructive path that leaves little upon the dust settling. But for those skillful enough, another path lay. One not of crude words spat on microphones, nor fighting theatrics. Instead, the art of innate self-belief and manifestation. This is how confidence becomes a weapon.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do to stop me, Daniel Cormier. You will lose this fight, Daniel Cormier. I want you to believe it.
Crush him in the first round. Trust me what I'm telling you.
If you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
El Matador may well be the king of kings, custodian of the featherweight throne, but it was a journey to the summit forged through hours on the mat, and more importantly, faith in the law of assumption. With an undefeated record brings with it added mental boons. For those who remain grounded amidst it, an aura of immortality granted, which can so often be the difference maker at the elite fighting level. And Ilia, in his rise, had no doubt used it to his advantage.
Estoy mentalmente súper confiado.
Big uppercut. Oh, he got hurt. Knocks Mitchell down. Wow. Ragdoll, pancaked him.
El miedo como que intenta apoderarse de mí. El miedo es una ilusión. Yo dejo que el miedo me atraviese.
Oh, that's tight. Whoa! Still undefeated. Wow. Ilia Topuria.
What he did to Josh Emmett, I was like,
Nasty.
oh, man.
Oh, heavy. Huge combination for the Spaniards.
A boxing masterclass.
Despite his successes, Ilia never grew drunk on power and fame. The hard work and long hours training kept him in check, balancing the ego. His victories had culminated in an inevitable title shot, one to him that was never a matter of if, but when. The journey here had been long foreseen, manifested through years of self-belief and faith.
I should wake up every morning and to tell myself like, hey, Ilia, you have like two options: to keep sleeping and keep with your dreams, or wake up and make it true.
The great Alexander Volkanovski was the man in his way, one of the division and sport's greatest ever gladiators, who in the eyes of many seemed unstoppable at 145. It was a tall order in truth, but to be the best, one must best the best. And El Matador would exercise all forms of manifestation to visualize victory, changing his Instagram bio in the bout's build to read UFC champion before the fight had even come to fruition, and going one step further by making an entire movie about his rise to the throne was a step none before had ever taken. If there ever was an example of betting on oneself to the highest degree, this was it. Mixed martial arts is a sport in which fans never forget your shortcomings. It's unforgiving, and being on the wrong end of a highlight reel finish will have your reputation tarnished forever. The risks for Topuria were high, but the rewards far greater, and the former had never even crossed his mind. The only thought was victory, clear and pure, with no room left for any doubt.
You already know what's going to happen. You just came ready for the retirement. I'm going to take your head off. I'm going to show you levels. I'm going to whoop the floor with you.
No, I'm gonna crush him in the first round. Trust me what I'm telling you.
In the first round?
In the first round, I'm gonna put his lights out.
Really?
Yeah. The guy deserves his respects. He's good. But as I told you before, la estrategia que voy a traer en la pelea, él no va a ser capaz de resolverlo.
For all that was said and done, many considered Topuria's antics somewhat distasteful, brash and arrogant. But those words spoken in the face-off that no one else initially heard revealed a man not dismissive of his opponent's skill set, simply more confident in his own. The media game, the theatrics, all harnessed by Ilia to sell extra pay-per-views. But make no mistake, even if accentuated, this persona was real. And come fight night, it would be channeled into victory.
He is calculated, he is calm, and he believes tonight he is going to shock many MMA observers and wrest the title away from the long-standing featherweight champion.
I have never been more hyped for a fight. Never. Very interesting. Ooh, very strong low kick.
Connected with the jab there as well.
Oh, early right hand lands for Topuria.
Yeah, he looks sharp.
Both men had their moments in round one.
Second round, buddy, you ready? You ready? Fight!
The second round, he started to slow down a little bit.
Ooh, that's a good right hand left hook. Might be hurt, follows up again. Rips to the body.
Game over, my friend. It's game over.
Oh, good shots.
He got it! That'll do it, and new! Oh, my goodness!
They're gonna gonna tell you you can do it. They're gonna knock you down and doubt you. But guess what? The only person you need to achieve anything in this life is yourself. Just trust yourself, work tirelessly, have faith, and everything is possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new champion, Ilia Topuria!
Victory was a reminder that no one is immortal in this game. So quickly you rise to the top, you inevitably fall. Through the power of self-belief, El Matador now reigns supreme. Every word said, decision made, and punch thrown had culminated in that final shot. He had done it the right way, the honorable one, and gained everything and more. But now as the king, it was his responsibility to defend those new riches. And just as he did on the come-up, Ilia's mental visualization would be used to take on his next adversary.
Holloway shows some mortality. Look at this. Holloway just told him, stand right here. Oh, big connection late.
Get the El Matador. He is running away from Abu at 145. Tell him sign the gun contract. I'm right here.
There's a reason they say defending the throne is harder than claiming it. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. With the belt comes greater expectations, more distractions, and only the most disciplined warriors are able to overcome them all. Against Max Holloway, Ilia looked to do exactly that, and cement his legacy with a win over another featherweight legend. Just as he had done so against Volkanovski and the many men before him, Ilia would bet on himself to the utmost degree, bidding to do what no man had ever done before inside of 33 fights, and knock out the man with the iron chin.
No one of them have the power I have in my hands. No one of them have the skills I have. I will be the first one to take his lights out.
With Holloway's reputation as a fan favorite and the Spaniard's cold words came inevitable backlash. Even as the champion, Ilia was still the new kid on the block in comparison, waging war against a man who had been there long before. But the mission remained the same. For though deep down respect lay within for his adversary, come the cage door shutting, that would all have to be tuned out, and the bull would make his charge once more.
I call this because I knew it. It's a surprise for a lot of people, but for me, it's like I knew it. I said it and I did it.
Topuria had came, saw and conquered, visualized and brought to fruition his destiny through two stone hands. And though his time will likely come as it does for every warrior, his path to glory will be replicated by many once his gloves lay resting on the octagon canvas.
You gonna do something over there?
Be careful.
Shut your fucking mouth.
They can only count to 5.
I don't see anything in the division that troubles me, not one of them. They don't move like I move, they don't think like I think, and they don't talk like I talk.
Although the Irishman's verbal venom spat is half the reason for his infamy, the other, that patented left-hand shot, there is a cerebral element to the tale of the Notorious that many don't acknowledge. For within the showmanship and violence was a man willing every moment of his story into existence. Conor McGregor's rise seems almost prophetic, akin to the legendary forgotten tales of distant lands. Without his intrinsic self-belief, the face of the fight game would never have came to be. For all of the money-flaunting party antics we recognize today, that high-life persona was once upon a time a total facade.
You ever hear the term, you gotta fake it till you make it? You know, before anything, I was getting the fake ones. I was rocking the fake ones like this, but proud, you know.
These custom-made suits aren't cheap. This solid gold pocket watch, 3 people died making this watch, you know what I mean?
You gotta fake it to make it. You know, I used to drive a broke down banger of a car, and in my head that was a Ferrari. So I was able to almost, you know, just believe it into reality.
The watch may not have been real, but inside Conor's psyche it was very much so. Playing that rich life role through such intricacies allowed him to tap into and visualize the man he wanted to become. The other key to his rise was that intangible factor, the self-belief to be the best and do the impossible. For Mystic Max forging required bone-chilling predictions and matching those lofty ambitions set when the lights beamed down.
On Saturday night when I go out there and put the ego away in the first round, I will prove my worth.
That is it! It is all over! Conor McGregor is victorious!
He's going to hit the canvas hard, and that will be that.
Conversation, looking to finish the fight. That's it. It's all over.
Everything Conor said would happen did so, and his coup de grace, a final flourish to cap off his featherweight journey, was attempting to best the decade-long unbeaten Jose Aldo. Till now, Conor had seemed godlike in his rise, but to beat the King of Rio in a trial by combat was a tall order. And those predictions weren't unfounded. Jose's record needed no explanation, but at the bottom line, Conor's will outweighed his opponents, even without the undisputed namesake attached to him. It was a combination of everything he had built up, the mind games, the Mystic Mac persona, and of course, the fighting ability at the core of it all. Now, soul reading is not a term I use lightly, but come UFC 194, I'd argue it was most fitting.
I am calm, cold, ruthless, and ready to take out the body that's in front of me. I feel if I just go, he will react a million times. That's what I see the fight playing now. I feel him overreacting, overextending, and then being KO'd unconscious.
Conor looks extremely loose. Relaxed and smiling. Oh! He slapped him! Conor McGregor is the new UFC featherweight champion of the world! Oh, unbelievable!
Word for word, you said, I felt when we stared down, I felt his right hand was twitching, which was a subtle tell for me.
He is ready to unload that right hand, but I feel that could be a downfall for him.
If he lets that right hand go, I will not be there.
I simply enter the way I enter.
And that is enough. They either overextend
or they shrink away, but either way is not good for them.
How do you do that? How do you predict these
if you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them.
He worked on the exact same thing, and he mimicked what he was going to do in the green room. There's video of him. That's Conor pretending to be Aldo, and this is him. Bam.
Some say it was a case of stars aligning. The right place, the right time. I'd argue Conor had written that outcome into existence long ago, and though he may not even be close to the same man anymore, his last performance more akin to an actor's magnum opus rather than a warrior speaking with conviction, MMA won't forget the man who truly weaponized confidence and brought it to the masses.
Jon Jones is a killer.
He's out. Jon Jones has done it.
For the legacy of Jon Jones, the only way to harness that self-belief within and manifest victory time and time again, as he has done, is to tap into someone else entirely, an alter ego, a villain, or in the eyes of many, the man he truly is deep down, Bones. For that side of him to be catalyzed required a physical equal, someone to challenge his skill set inside of those egg-caged walls, and Daniel Cormier was that man.
Are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. You are just the fakest person. I actually admire that you can actually be this fake. I wish they would let me next door so I can spit in your face.
You know I would absolutely kill you if you ever did something like that,
You
right?
could never kill me.
Oh, I bet you I could.
Then you should try, John. You really should try, John.
No, I would literally kill you if you spit in my face.
Yeah, let's try that, John.
Literally kill you.
Let's try that, John.
Words that went far beyond that of plain trash talk or chilling predictions. There was nothing less than clear sincerity behind those eyes. In thinking that the cameras had stopped rolling, the mask had come off and the real man revealed. It was evidence that the only way to beat someone as skilled as Daniel Cormier was to tread that dark path and will victory into existence as a result.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do to stop me, Daniel Cormier. I challenge you to get me down 5 times in that 5-round fight. You won't be able to do that. Maybe you will get me down once. I believe in my whole heart that I'll get you down too. But the difference is, when I get you down, your face will open up. You will lose this fight, Daniel Cormier. I want you to believe it. Every ounce of training you put in leading up to this fight will be a waste of your life.
It was a tale that would then become a pattern, as Jon would step into the fray and come out unscathed time and time again. But even in never facing loss, the same mortal fears that creep into every contender, so too enter the mind of Jones. And it takes a champion to conquer them.
I kept having these nightmares that I would get knocked out. No matter how the fight played out, I would always get knocked out. And I couldn't avoid this inevitable knockout that I was going to experience in the first round. You know, when you have a negative thought, immediately cancel it with a positive thought. You know, instead of thinking of somebody beating your ass, you think of yourself, you're winning, fight's almost over. Sure. Just think something positive.
And years on, through every victory, obstacle overcame, complacency would inevitably set in. Jones had grown tired at the top, the crown and its responsibilities weighing ever heavier. It's a story we've seen before, the conclusion usually marked by a young challenger taking the throne. Now, Dominic Reyes at UFC 247 aimed to be that man, a bout in which, perhaps for the first time ever, the doubts had finally taken their toll.
Oh, big shot.
Both land on that one.
Oh, beautiful left uppercut.
I remember thinking to myself, you may have met your match, John. And as clear as day, I saw a door
I saw a door in the octagon, and it was just like, hey, you've had a great career. You've done a lot of great things. This kid, he wants it. It's okay if you come up short in this one. Let him have it. Let the kid have it, John. And something just as clear as that other voice said, fuck that.
It's a result many rightfully debate to this day, but without Jones's mental resolve and the power of confidence, there would be no discussions and a surefire red L staining an otherwise spotless record. There is little that hasn't already been said about the last Stylebender's reign as a middleweight king, and though for his rise to the summit, the art of manifestation was obviously key, it was when all the chips were down and his reputation lay on the line that it truly mattered. For come 2023, Adesanya's middleweight reign lay in tatters. You know the story of a champion overconfident, uttering those infamous words.
He's gonna be at some pub, talking some shit about, I beat that guy one time.
Igniting the fire within an old rival. And having everything he had worked for taken away.
Adesanya's on one leg. 2 more. That'll do it. And he did it. Time has done it. He did it again. Alex Pereira, the undisputed middleweight.
Adesanya was in truth the orchestrator of his own downfall. Alex Pereira had pounced upon that mental weakness and harnessed it into victory. But in doing so, the last Stylebender was now unshackled, free from the heavy weights of expectation, and this newfound time as a contender instead of a king spurred the opportunity for growth.
I always say this, the shower is the most interesting place on the planet, I feel, because you have the element of water running over your body, stripped naked in your bare essentials. I can create a lot in there. I can make a lot of things happen. And one time after one of my showers, I just wrote this thing on my mirror because I just had this premonition, like, this is where I get it done. Like, there's no way. You could beat me 1 time, you could beat me 2 times, you might beat me 3 times. But I was like, nah, this guy's not gonna beat me this time. And I just knew I had to get this done.
It was a bout with legacy on the line, not just those 10.5 pounds of gold. To win meant vindication, real undeniable proof that Israel could do what he had come so close to before and restore his legend as a middleweight great. For that star-studded night at UFC 287, the MMA gods had heard his countless calls and granted him that cathartic release. But with the crown back atop his head, there lay new challenges, ones in which chasing, Adesanya would seal the fate of his second reign just as it had begun.
He's stunned him bad. He's hurt bad. And he goes in a world of trouble. Oh my goodness. Big strikes raining down. Whitaker covers up. Do you believe it? Drake Duplessis calls his shot.
Told you I manifested this. I manifested this.
But Drake Duplessis.
This is my African brother right here. Let's go. What's up, bitch? Let's go. Yeah. Hey, stare off. Just saying. Look at me. Come here. Come here.
Israel had spent his mental energy and time towards one man whilst neglecting another. The latter who against the odds would take the mantle of king when no one, not even Israel, saw it coming. Whether it's a case of time's clutches taking their toll or misguided motivations, Adesanya lay once more without his crown. But that is the natural order of things, and we shan't forget the mentality that took him to the top, kept him there, and brought him back when all hope seemed lost.